That's too enthusiastic. You got to take it down a couple notches, all right?
All right, here we are.
Antisocial experience 263?
Sure.
I can't even read my own titles sometimes. Hermitage Dayz. If you don't know what that's a play on, well, then you're just not from this area.
Lucky for you.
Is it lucky, though?
No, probably not. I think it's the same bullshit everywhere.
Could be. It couldn't be. Who knows? And we're also a little later in the day, but that's fine. So
we've been late before.
Didn't we do a nighttime show? Not here, but
in my living room that time with the
oh yeah.
For the July one.
Yeah, but also for yours.
Yeah.
I believe we recorded at night.
Oh yeah, remember I had to meet Morgan from Canada down here at like midnight that night, and we had to put it out the next morning. yeah, totally.
Talk about production.
Yeah,
Russian production. Jeez, which feels like kind of like what we're talking about today. Russian production on some of these things.
Not like across seas he's fighting with Ukraine. He's like rushing, not Russian. You know what I mean? Like not Vladimir, but in a hurry.
Yeah, no, I got you. Talking small town festivals, carnivals, celebrations, bashes, even the big ones, New Year's. Because some towns, I imagine they have, aside from people shooting off guns and fireworks, some places people actually will have celebrations for New Year's and other stuff. And any other day you can think of, fall festival. I think, haven't we had that here?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, I forget what it was about, but I just know fall festival. And I seen the street packed in front of where I was of my work. And it was just panic set in.
Oh, wasn't that outside the similar house or whatever?
Possibly.
Maybe. Yeah, okay.
I don't know. Who cares? Too much. But yeah, and you gotta wonder. There's a few things that I wonder when I go to these and see some of the same vendors selling stuff or whatever. And I've never thought, well, okay. Sometimes I've thought it like, is that the same pizza you had set up last time trying to sell it?
Right.
You have a display model that you made and petrified, or is it always fresh? Your displays.
Right.
But I don't know, more often than not, when I go to the smaller ones, it's like walking through a live, how do I want to say it? Like a live hidden item picture, or one of those games where you try to find.
Like Waldo.
Yeah, like Where's Waldo, but like with all the hidden items in the picture. It just feels like walking through that with just the spread out random flea marketness of the items.
It's probably worse than a flea market.
Dude, I looked up that term, where that comes from.
What, flea market?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know?
No.
You want to hear the backstory?
Of course I do.
Oh boy. Yeah, I gotta decline that one, sorry. Flea market is how do I say? It's a French term from like the 1860s, and I don't know exactly where it came from, and I'm not even gonna try and pretend that I can talk French. Like, that's not a thing. But it's a French term that literally translates to flea market, and it's like where they were bringing stuff out, and it was more than likely like upholstery, like rugs, furniture, whatnot, and selling it. More than likely, it was infested with fleas.
Makes sense. So it was a flea market.
Yeah, because fleas were.
Yeah.
I think fleas are part of what helped transmit the Black Plague, like way back whenever.
Okay.
In those years. But yeah, no, flea market, which doesn't sound good when you know the origin of it. But in a sense, you can find some great deals sometimes,
Yeah.
Depending where you are. And I've always wondered, like, when I lived in Ohio years ago, there was a legit flea market getting off the small town festival, bashes, celebrations, whatever, celebrating the history of the town topic for a moment. But there was one where it would look more like I don't want to say swap meet or what, but it was just big. You would drive in and there was just booth after booth after booth over acres of land.
It's like Hazen is.
Yeah. Just you could spend all day walking around looking, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like an indoor one, but instead of indoors, it was outdoor.
Okay.
And I remember just walking and seeing, and I wondered, I saw Nikes for an unreal price. And this is when I was in school, and where I was at in Ohio, Nike was a super popular sneaker. Like, everybody wanted to have the newest pair or whatever. Not like the real expensive sneaker collector ones, but like the newest ones that came out, newest model, that year's model. And I often wondered when you'd see them for like half the price, were they defects? Were they fakes?
Yeah. Bootlegs, I would guess more so than.
But do you think were there? I mean, nowadays, yeah, there's legit.
There's bootlegs of everything now.
Right, but especially shoes, like in the real expensive one, people will make good looking fakes of those or replicas, if
Dude,
you want to call them.
Yeah, it's so hard, dude. Even Funko Pops, they started doing that with too, like making fake ones,
like replica Funkos.
Yeah, I just got one. It's the Scream, like the ghost face from Scream, and it's holding
the Scream movie.
Yeah,
okay.
He's holding a knife or whatever, and the only difference is the blood splatter on the knife. Like one's bigger than the other. And that's the only difference in the whole thing. That's how you can tell. But like,
wow.
How the fuck are you gonna know that unless you take it out of the box, which you can't take it out of the box? But like it's just
so if you unbox it, it drops the value, like substantially.
The box is worth more than the fucking figure is.
Really?
Yeah. Because like I got it in the mail, and like I actually was able to return it because there was a dent in the box, so I got to keep the figure, and they gave me my money back.
But you returned the box?
No, you got to keep it all. Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of that goes to if you're selling stuff like that, and you know it as well. You collect and sell.
Yeah.
If you're shipping something out, if it's worth money, especially if it's worth money, or if it, in my case, electronics, and it needs to be usable when it gets there, you have to protect that shit. Like you can't.
Correct.
You can't just toss it in an envelope and ship it across the country or the world, man. This stuff's going to definitely break out. But no. And I often wondered that, like, do you think they were high level bootlegging shoes in like the mid 90s?
No, not like that.
Not like they are today.
No, because I don't think anybody in the 90s thought any of the crap would be worth what it is now. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But it was like, and I don't think it was so much as the newest models that these vendors would have talking about the sneakers again, but I think it was like all the stuff they bought overstock of from a year or so before.
Yep.
Because it had been shoes that I'd seen in previous school years. But they're just insanely cheap.
Yeah. Well, like the Ghost Pop, the Scream one I was just telling you about,
right?
It books for $450. I got it for $8. Like
$8.
Yeah, and it's in the price guide right now for $450.
But it's a replica.
Yeah.
So what does that come in at?
I don't know. There's no price on it, but you could easily pass it off as not. You know what I mean? Like if somebody not paying attention all day long.
That's crazy.
You never know the difference, man. You never ever know.
Do we even need to bring it up? What the biggest one of the, still to this day, I think what one of the biggest collecting crazes was?
What, Pogs?
Well, I mean, that was pretty bad too, but no, the big one. I mean, people were remortgaging their houses.
Oh, the Beanie Babies.
Yeah.
Dude. And
what happened with that? What made that a thing?
I don't know what made them even like, who said they were even worth anything? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand that.
I don't know either, man, to tell you the truth.
Like with baseball cards and stuff, like, yeah, it's usually worth something because it's older. You know what I mean? Like, I guess they were just maybe making limited edition ones. And like only, small runs of them or something. And like, you can only get this one here or maybe, I don't know. I don't know anything.
But just okay, so let's check this out. Just Googling it real quick. Beanie Babies were among the first big internet fervors. And their rise coincided with eBay. So Beanie Babies and eBay were kind of blown up at the same time.
That makes sense then.
Auctioned off $500 million worth of Beanie Babies, 6% of its total annual sales. eBay did that.
$500 million.
Right.
Wow.
But I remember when they were a thing, and I had used the internet, and I'd bought records on eBay. But I remember when they were a thing, like anybody, like usually if they were handing some out at McDonald's as Happy Meals, people were trying to get those ones, or a different restaurant, or they had some at Kmart and you had to buy this and one came with it. People, and I thought everybody was nuts. And then eventually that Beanie Baby bubble burst.
And everybody looked nuts because they were like trying to retire on him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and sorry to say it didn't
And
happen.
he's like, I cashed in all my retirement. I'm like, now you got a box of stuffed animals, dude. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like, that sucks.
And when that burst, they literally became like, you know, not worthless, but
Worthless.
yeah, in a sense.
Like, what do they do? Nothing.
And if I'm not going to look into it. I don't want to go on a rant about Beanie Babies, but I believe, excuse me, I believe for a time, didn't they start like the only thing I can compare it to is like comic books. Like they had like first pressing, and then like a second pressing, like first run, second run.
Yep.
And some of them, like some were still valuable, but because they were the second or third time they were made, they were not supposed to be not as valuable as the first time it was made.
Yep.
Or manufactured, whatever.
You got it.
I don't know, man. I never bought into it back then, and I probably wouldn't now. But in the same sense, I did pay ridiculous amounts of money for vinyl records at one time. Do you know?
Yeah, you still would today.
Oh no, I know I would. But just depending on the artist and alive or dead, you know, yeah, especially alive, and if they just became really popular, all their old stuff that wasn't popular all of a sudden has like a much higher price tag on it. It's ridiculous.
It's stupid. Or like let's say like we use like Batman for example. Okay, like Batman is what is it right now? But like all of a sudden they're making another Batman movie. All of a sudden you'll see the Batman stuff shoot up because there's more interest in it then. You know what I mean?
Right.
So people are willing to pay more.
Did you see the new indie movie yet?
No, I heard it's good.
I've heard I don't,
right, but I heard like critics killing it, but I heard actual people who I know like it. So like I have a better faith in those people than I do critics because critics are critics.
One of the big things I heard, and spoilers if you plan to see it, because I really can't spoil it, but I could just go with what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
So spoiler if you think this might spoil it for you, but I guess they de-aged him digitally.
Oh really?
In the movie, yeah. But he still has the gruff old man voice. Like,
well, yeah, he's like what 84 now,
right?
Yeah,
it's like
that's insane.
Look, I'm not a professional at editing audio or video, and I know a small amount to what the pros do that record sounds and then edit it, process it later on, and I could probably make him sound a little younger. You know?
That's wild.
Yeah. So I guess there's that. That's one of the things. I don't want to talk about much else about it, but we got to see it, man.
It's like, I belongs in a museum.
He belongs in a museum.
Yeah, that's what I mean, man. Finally, it's come full circle now. He's the thing that belongs in the museum, finally. Is that a Super Mario, like, controller?
Yeah, I'm working on one for family.
Sorry, I just saw the side of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's going to be valuable in 10 years.
It will be. You watch.
But no, and it's crazy too, because let's just take a look at the past few years, right? Because we had these festivals, carnivals, whatever, celebrations for the small area we live in. You can go to some bigger fairs if you want to call it that. Bazaar, circus. There's many things they can call them, and those are a few different things I've named.
Mm-hmm.
But they all have a kind of common theme. Before the 2020 Apocalyptics kicked off, right?
Mm-hmm.
The stuff was a little cheaper then. It had still become expensive over the years, but it was a little cheaper. And then after that, prices just jumped, and they're still way up there with stuff.
Dude, it's almost impossible right now. Like literally, it's almost impossible. Like it is so hard right now. Like I don't know.
For selling?
No, just like to even live with everything being so high. Like it's hard, man. Like everything's so freaking expensive. Like I'm making more money than I ever have in my life, and I'm struggling my freaking face off still. Like
yeah, it's
stupid.
And I'm pretty good at like budgeting, saving money for a purpose of, you know, paying bills, doing this, doing that. And yeah, it is. It's like, damn,
dude. As soon as I pay my bills, it's like it's gone. It's literally gone. And I'm like, what the?
And you're sitting there some days, like probably honestly, like thinking like, can I squeeze in a third job with the 3 I'm doing already?
Yeah, it would be fourth now. Yeah.
Right.
Like when?
Yeah, no, that's it just it seemed it. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
No. As long as it didn't break. If it did, I
don't care if it does.
got screens.
Good.
But no, it's crazy, man. And I actually our local little whatever it is, Hermitage or Heritage Days. I almost said the title of the show. And I'm not knocking on the town or the shit, you know what I mean? But I just didn't want to rip off their title, so I got close. And usually, I don't know, I've just seen different levels of it, especially here locally, the small shows. And it I don't know, it just seems like you're paying more for less.
100%. It's the biggest ripoff in the world. Like you literally drive down there to pay more money for something you could get anywhere else for cheaper. Like why? It's not that much good. It's not like the food's not that much better. But I think it's for just the fact that people get to see people and whatever, you know what I mean?
The socializing.
Yeah, because some people still like that.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, no.
It's good in a sense. In that environment, maybe not so much.
Right. Depends who it is.
It really does, but it's hard though too. Do you know what I mean? Because it's hard because you actually start trying to socialize, and you're interrupted at least 20 times within like 2 minutes by other people walking past.
Yeah, it's annoying, dude. That's why I just don't talk to anybody there because, like you said, and then there's no good place to stand or anything, so you're constantly holding people up, or the people will stop right in front of you as you're walking. Like
you're always in somebody's way. That's how I feel. Anyhow.
I do too.
And believe me, when I feel like that in the rest of life, I'm not going to go and throw myself into that position, voluntarily.
For something to do this afternoon.
Yeah, let me take this moment in time where I don't actually feel like I'm in the world's way and go put myself in the way of the world. No, thanks. No.
I'm like, fuck.
But no, dude, and it's just crazy. It's like, I don't know, like the fun element's still there, especially when you can take kids and they can enjoy it. You know what I mean? And we're comparing like I said, I'm probably way off base comparing vastly different things, but it all just think about the stuff here locally. Okay. We have, and not knocking any of these places, just bringing them up purely as examples because I don't know what the hell they celebrate 3 states over. I have to use what I know the name of. You got Housedale Days. What's Osceola? Carnival? You have the Carnival. You have Heritage Days, the Clearfield Fair, and then the Grange.
Midsummer's over.
Basically. I mean, there's a few others, but they're further away. And they're all held, other than the 2 fairs, they're all held at different times and for different reasons. But if you go to all of them...
They're all the same vendors.
Well, other than same vendors, it just feels like the same event for half a week, whatever.
Because it is. All the same vendors, all the same routes and shit. It is the same event. It's just the same. It's just fucking different people pack it up and put the shit in a different place. Like it literally is, man.
Is it really?
Well, think about it. If you take this event, okay, we take the vendors out, we put them over here. Okay, now if we had rides or whatever else we brought in, we take them out, we put them over here. What the fuck is that event? It's the same event. It's just moved over there. Like it's what it is. So now you can hit the same event like 5-6 weeks in the summer. You can basically be at a carnival for the last 6 weeks of the summer if you want to. The same fucking carnival.
Right.
Some has more space than the others, but it's essentially the same fucking carnival.
And you know what I find too? No matter how little or how much space, this makes it crazy too. I'm still always in somebody's way.
Yeah. Yeah. Every time. You're exactly right. It can be in an open fucking field, and I'm still somehow, in a way.
There was 100 other places for that crowd to walk.
No.
They needed the dirt where my feet were.
Exactly. Exactly. Fuckers.
Yeah, man. Okay, so I'm not crazy and thinking.
No, dude, it's annoying.
It's a big long 6 week.
Yeah, it's the same carnival for 6 weeks, and sometimes you have to pay more to get in it, different days depending where it's at. Like today's $10. Today it's free.
Because I've even thought that, like, hey, I paid last week, and they're like, no, that was Clearfield. This is this is here.
This is bullshit. Like you're the same ticket guy. You know what I mean? Like what the hell? They're the same tickets. Like you're like, I got this bracelet last week. He's like, we put a red X on it this time. Oh,
yeah, no. Okay, I thought I was nuts thinking like that, and that's really, I mean, I guess it feels that way because it is.
Yeah, it is that way.
And let's check with the rest of the world. Not that the rest of the world's here, but it's got to be like that other places, right?
I hope.
You know, and now moving it to a bigger scale, right? Could you even imagine being in Times Square on New Year's
Nope.
Eve?
No way. No way. I'd have a meltdown.
You think?
For fucking sure.
Dude, because think about it. It's not like there's like public restrooms.
Nah, dude, you better. I better be in like a walking coma for me not to have a meltdown. Like, you better have me fucked up. Otherwise, yeah, no.
So that leaves like a few options, like committing a crime, possibly getting busted for public indecency, urination, whatever, or you're wearing a diaper.
Yeah,
which a lot of people do. I heard. I don't know,
dude. Pittsburgh does this thing every year for St. Patrick's Day. They have a big parade, and then like people, like you'll get out in the middle of the city. There's bands and stuff playing, and like they're selling beer and stuff outside. Dude, you get a beer and you go stand in line in the bathroom. Get done, go get a beer, stand in line in the bathroom. Like that's because otherwise, like it's just it's fucking stupid.
That doesn't sound fun, man.
No, but like that's all it is, man. Because the restrooms are so people are using the bathrooms everywhere. So like it sucks.
No, I know. Don't some places offer green beer on St. Patrick's Day?
Oh yeah.
Tell me, is there a place that dyes the water green, like artificially?
It's Chicago.
Is that where it is?
They dye the river green, yeah.
On St. Patrick's Day?
Yeah.
Is it, or Boston?
Chicago, I thought.
I don't know. I thought I heard of that, but I wasn't sure. And it's like, that's next level, because,
Yeah. Well, like green beer, they just dye the beer green, it's not like it's actually...
But is that the establishment or is that the company for that in celebration?
I don't know. I think the distributors might even do it.
Like the people making the beer.
Well, no, like when it trickles down to like Jenna's or something.
Right.
Like they might do it because like they don't know how many colored kegs they want to carry. You know what I mean? Like, because that would be a guess. So like, I think they might be able to just be like, oh, you need a green one, like do whatever, put the dye in and go. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
That'd be a pain in the ass.
That's crazy.
Trying to guess how many green kegs you needed, like that'd be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it'd be an expensive pain in the ass.
And like, what are you gonna do with the green beer afterwards? Nobody wants the green beer afterwards. It's like fucking St. Patty's Day. Like it's over.
Very true, my friend.
People are picky about that shit.
I don't know. And the other thing that I find in common is absolutely everybody seems to come out. At least locally, you know what I mean? Locally.
Yeah, I do know what you mean there.
I can't, like I said, I can't speak for the rest of the world, just where I live and exist,
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, good to see some people. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know all people, so you know what I mean? But it's good to see people out. Did it feel odd going back to the 2020 Apocalyptics? Did it feel odd? Because we actually passed it up that year that town wasn't ready for here to have anything happen.
Dude, we didn't have it for 2 years.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like 2 years, they were scared off of it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been weird for me ever since. Like I'm way different. I used to love that shit. I used to love being in crowds and stuff like that. Since 2020, no.
Yeah.
I steer away, man.
It's definitely, I don't know. I don't know how it's changed, how it's actually changed for you. I never really examined it. I tend to not examine too much with myself.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like going and buy, if I go, I'm just going to buy the same thing. And I don't need the same hat, for example. I don't need to go buy the same hat 5 years in a row.
Right.
Right. Or, I don't know. It's just.
You might want that same candy apple, though.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. You could use that same candy apple. If you're into that thing. But no, I don't know, man. I don't know how to sum it all up. I guess the best way is just to...
I got it. It's the same fucking carnival for 6 weeks long, dude. Same thing, different location. That's how you sum it up. Bam.
That's how you sum it up?
Yeah, that's it. That's the sum of all carnivals.
Good deal, my friend. Anyhow, obviously nobody's here. But regardless, we got to do the process to make the show, correct?
Yeah.
So, thank you, audio listeners, watchers, after watchers, viewers.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they're called.
It doesn't matter.
Huh?
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. Anyhow, man, we'll be back again next week.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the same fucking carnival then.
Yeah, I got a day.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah, it's house those days next week, so we'll be there live reporting to the same fucking
Is
carnival.
it next week?
I think
Or I
so.
think that already happened.
Or no, it wasn't in the middle. It wasn't. It was last week because it goes Osceola, Houtzdale, Phillipsburg.
Houtzdale, Osceola, Phillipsburg.
Oh, it's out early. Okay.
Or I don't know what
Who
order,
care?
man.
Why do we care?
Why do we care? Because we do, man.
Yeah, we'll see you next time with cover bands and candy apples.